Today we'll be doing a code in JavaFX. So it's a new framework. So we'll start with, we'll just do it in one class. Later examples we'll do more than one class. So first we'll import JavaFX.application. Then we will import JavaFX.scene. Then we'll import JavaFX.stage. Import JavaFX.geometry.position or POS. Then we'll import JavaFX.scene.paint.color. Then we'll import JavaFX.event.actionEvent. Then we'll import JavaFX.scene.control.button. Import JavaFX.scene.layout.flowPane. And then that's it, I think. So then we'll just write our class, so public class main, then we'll extend application, so extends application. We'll create our start method, so public void start. Takes a stage, primary stage. You can call the primary stage whatever you want. And then so here, this is optional, so you don't have to do this for most IDEs, but you can do private stage, primary stage. Then we'll create a button, so private button, call it button 1. Then we'll say this dot primary stage equals to primary stage. And we'll set button 1 equal to new button. And the constructor of a button, at least one of them, it just takes the name. So whatever you want to call the button, it's going to put a name on the button. You can put a picture, or you can put like some graphics on it that move or whatever. But for now we'll just put just a string on it. And then so what we're going to do is for the event handler we can use a Lambda expression, or we can just use a method. We're not going to do the third way with another class because it's unnecessary here. It'll take too long to do that. So first we'll just start with we'll go down to our event handler. So leave this method, go underneath, create a new method, call it public void process button 1. Then it'll take a parameter action event. You can call it whatever you want. Just call it event. So we'll just output to the screen that the page was refreshed. It's just a blank button though, so it's not actually going to refresh. But later on you could actually refresh your page. So we'll just say page refreshed. So here we'll say button 1, then we'll call the set on action method. Then we'll say this dot dot or like these things. Forgot the name of it. It's like a semicolon, but you hit shift, so 2 of those. and then this process, then we'll just call our event handler method process button 1, yeah. So button 1 dot set on action, and then this dot dot, and then process button 1, then semicolon at the end. That's pretty much it, I think. We'll create a root node, so flow pane root equals new flow pane, and then we'll put our button on the flow pane, so button 1, or in the flow pane. Then we'll say root dot set alignment. We'll set the alignment of the button to position dot center, POS dot center, CENTER in capitals. And this just sets alignment of root node. Then after that, we'll just create our scene. So scene equals new scene. We'll put our root node in there. We'll put the dimensions of the window. Might be too big, so we'll just say 200 by 100. And we'll do color. We'll change the color of the window. So we'll say color dot cyan, like that blue color, that light blue color. There's another way to set the color of the window, but we'll do that in the next video. So then we'll set primary stage dot set title, and then we'll just call our window, we'll just call it a window, and then primary stage dot set scene. We'll pass our scene into the set scene, and then we'll show the window to be displayed. So then we'll say primary stage dot show, and below this method we'll create another method, public static void main string array args. So we'll just call the command line here. Then we'll just say we'll call our launch method. It's optional in some IDEs, but it's good to write it because you have to if you're doing it from a command line. So that should work. With this recorder, it's not going to show the button. I'll try to paste a picture in it, but I'm not that good with YouTube stuff, so like how to edit videos. And this is just a Windows recorder, so it doesn't it only records one window at a time. It doesn't show the whole screen. So when I hit play or when I hit run, the button's going to come up on the screen. You can't see it. I'll try to put a picture in, but it's just going to look like a little window, like a little tiny window, and there's going to be a minimize, a maximize, and a close, and then there's going to be a button in the middle. It's going to say refresh. When you click that button, it's going to say page refreshed right there. You can see the page refresh, but you can't see the button. If I click on the button, it's just going to show a huge window, right? It's just going to be a huge window. It's not even going to show the minimize and maximize and close or the title. But it just looks like a window, like a little pop-up window, like when you go on the internet and a pop-up comes up on your screen, like a virus almost. It's going to look like that. So I'll close that. And then, so there's another way to do this. It's with the Lambda expression. So to do that, we'll just comment some of this out. So we'll comment this out. Control backslash for using IntelliJ, and then we'll comment this out. So instead of that event handler method, we'll just use a Lambda expression. So we'll say button1 dot set on action. It's kind of a weird framework, or it's like hard to get used to if you're just coming from Java, but it's just like so like two open parentheses and then inside event, because that's what we actually, you don't have to call it event, you can call it like E, I think, too. We'll just put event since we already called that, or you can call it whatever. And then it's 1 dash and a right angular bracket, which makes like a little arrow, right? So dash angular bracket, open bracket, and then you put what you want it to do, right? So we'll put system.out.println. Then we'll just say page refresh, same thing. Then here, it's closing bracket, and then it's weird. It's not like the parentheses should be at the end. It's like or this square bracket thing. It should be then a parentheses and then a semicolon. But usually it's like this, and then this is below here, right? But that's going to give you an error, so they want the square bracket in front. I guess that's part of the new framework. So then that's like the JavaFX framework, because JavaFX is new. So it's going to be more like newer languages. So when we run, it should produce the same effect. Again, you can't see the window of the actual app that's going to run. You can just see the code and the command line. But a window is going to come up. It's like a little pop-up window. Minimize, maximize, and an X. It's going to say the title of the window. It looks like a little pop-up window or something. And then there's just one button on it. And the color should be cyan. Unless you're in like nighttime mode. And then so you hit refresh, it's going to say page refresh. You can keep clicking it, right? It's just going to say page refreshed. Then I'll stop. I'll terminate the code. And that's it. So we just imported some stuff. Then we wrote the class. We extended the application class. We created a stage, primary stage. We created a button, button1. We set this dot primary stage equals a primary stage. We set button1 equal to new button, and the constructor took the name of the button. That's gonna, where you click, it's gonna have that name right there. And then we first did the event handler with the method call. Our event handler is down here, it's commented out. We called public void, and then whatever you want to call it. You have to pass action event in there, and you can call it whatever you want, I think. And then we did what we wanted to do. We just so set on action. So when you click the button, the action is just going to display this page refresh in the command line. Then with the Lambda, we did the same thing, except we use a Lambda. And then we created our flow pane as the root node. We called it root, new flow pane, and then we put our button1 inside. And then we set the alignment to position.center. Then we said scene equals new scene. Then the scene takes constructors, at least 3, I think. The 4th one is for the color if you want. So we pass root in there, the dimension, so the width, and then the length, 100, or the length and then the width. And then the color. And then we set the title to window. We pass the scene into set scene method. You have to do that. And then we had to show it. If you don't show it, it's not going to display it. And that's it. So hope that helps. See you next time. Thanks.